tuning in. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I use the CAGED system to enhance what's being played. Don't fall asleep. This is specifically aimed at playing with two guitar players. But of course, you know, the CAGED system can be used at any point in your playing. If your first guitarist is playing here, so if you're playing down there, yeah, what I do is I want to find some chords further up the guitar to make the sound a bit wider, and because I don't want to be playing what he's playing. Just saying. Find some chords further up the guitar, which will enhance the overall sound. We'll go in close and I'll break it all down for you. So just a quick recap. This is specifically aimed at when you're playing with two guitar players. Okay, so if your other guitar player is playing open chords down here, or even some sort of bar chords, what I try and do is play further up the guitar to enhance what's being played. So it sounds a bit like a piano. You can, you know, you've got the bass end here and the treble end like that, and you've got this wide sound. That's kind of what I try and do. So if I'm playing a G here, or if my other guitar player is playing a G here, I could play one up here. Has a different voicing. For instance, G here, the top note is a G and the bottom note is also a G. Here, my top note is a B and the bottom note I'm actually using is also a B. Okay? So just to recap, we are using the CAGED system here. Now I did a whole video on this on my channel, so please check it out, and that gives you all the information on CAGED. So without any further ado, here's the first chord progression. The chords I'm going to use for this first one are D, A, B minor and G. All very familiar, I'm sure. So he's going to be playing, my other guitar player, he's over there, look. Okay. He's going to be strumming along. Etc. So what I want to do is play the same chords using the same notes, but not necessarily in the same order, as somebody once said. So the first chord, D, I want to find it somewhere up here. Remember our CAGED system, that's our C-shaped D. There's the D-shaped D. There's the C-shaped D. A. Sorry, didn't mean to hit that other note there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this G shape and I'm going to abbreviate it ever so slightly and just take this section of it. Okay, I'll break it down in just a moment. So we've got two choices for this D. I can play this one, or of course I can play my E shape, which is a full bar chord. Or if I wanted to enhance it a little bit more, keep it a bit more jingly jangly, I'll play a half bar. Okay? So let's break that down again. So we're in the 7th fret. This is for the D. We're playing the A shape there, but we're abbreviating it. So we're barring across the 7th fret on the D, G and B strings, and our little finger on the 10th fret plays the high D. We can actually use this open A here because there is an A note in a D chord. Doesn't sound great, but it's all right. So what I tend to do is tip my finger underneath there to mute it. So that's the first chord. Or if I wanted to use, as I said, second choice would be this one here, which is essentially my E-shaped bar chord rooting from the D, but just using the top section of it. So that would be 10, 10 on the E and B strings, 11 on the G, 12 on the D. So that's my first chord. My second chord is an A. So again, I want to keep it up here. I can, if I wanted to, use that half bar in A there. Sounds slightly different. So the top note is an A. Here the top note is an E. So you get a slightly different voicing. So I could use that A there, or I could come right up here and use this A, which is our C-shaped A. Remember, I'm abbreviating all of these as well, because I'm trying to use the sort of the top part of the strings to create that extra voicing, if you like. So far then we have the D, then the A. So the A there is 9th fret on the E, 10th fret on the B, 9th fret on the G, 11th fret on the D. That's an A. Okay, so that's my A, or indeed the half bar there. So then we have those two chords, so that's my third chord is a B minor. So I'm playing a B minor bar chord here, rooted on the A string. Now again, if we know our CAGED system, the next available B will be this B, or B minor like this, which is what I'm going to use. And we talked about the half bar, so I'm going to use the top section of this B minor here. So I'm just using these three strings here on the E, B and G, barring across there, and I'm using on the D string 9th fret there, and that's my B minor. Okay, now to go to a G, the easiest way here is simply, if I get that finger there, excuse me, and put it on the 8th fret of the B string, I get my G shape. Oh, sorry. I get my G shape, but abbreviated. So I go from B minor to G with one finger movement. That's probably the easiest way to do that chord progression movement. So there's your chord progression: D, A, B minor, G. So D, A, or A, B minor, G. Same chords, just a different voicing. As a footnote here, you can play, so this is a nice D to use, it's a D sus2. So you're barring across the 5th fret there, tipping your finger under the E string, rooting it on the A string, playing like a power chord shape rooted on the A, exposing this B note here, B string, which is actually the note E, which is the sus2. Sounds quite nice. So you can get a... Okay, the next one I'm going to play is 4 chords, nice and easy. It's going to be the same: G, D, A minor, then G, D, C. All very familiar. Name that tune. Okay, so again. Okay, go back to what we did on the previous song and we can find our chords elsewhere. So we can come back to this G that we had before, which we went from B minor to G, remember, but we can also do it like this. So we're rooting here with our little finger on the D string 9th fret, with our first finger on the G string 7, ring finger there on the 8th fret of the B, and then middle finger on the 7th fret of the E. It's essentially, as we looked at before, it's a C-shaped G chord. Okay, so the first, and then so we don't hit the A string, we tip our finger just under there, look. Mute it. We could also use a high G up here on the A shape as an A shape, so barring across the 10th fret. Okay, so there's your first chord. Second chord is the D. Now remember we had these other Ds we were using before, which is the G shape, and abbreviated, or we could use the half bar here. Okay, so that would be, or, then we go to A minor. So we could use that half bar like we did with the B minor. We could use it there as an A minor, or we could use the the D-shaped A minor here. Now a good way of playing that is playing this section of it here. It's quite nice because you get the C as the low note and the C as a high note. That's A minor. Okay, so that's ring finger, 10th fret, D string, middle finger, 9th fret, G string, little finger, 10th fret, B string, and first finger on the high E in the 8th fret. It's essentially your D minor chord from down there played up here as an A, because there's your D note. Is your A, so it's an A minor, or again we could do the half bar there. So there's a couple of choices. Then we play the D and the G again, and we come to a C. Easiest one is to just do the bar chord but half bar. So bar chord from the 8th fret, which is a C, but play as a half bar. So there you have it. And then finish. And it just cycles round. We know that chord, don't we? We know that song. In essence, what you're trying to do is find chords that are down here, up here, or just space them further apart. So if somebody's even up here, like that, that's an A, that's an A. Okay, D, D, and so on. Just find the chords further apart, and it adds for a wider sound. Yeah, give it a go. Let me know how you get on. And you. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video and you managed to get something from it. As always, if you did enjoy it, please give it a like. Feel free to leave a comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It all helps. So until next time, I'll keep doing what I do. Bye.